The world is not at peace. It only looks calm on the surface. Behind closed doors, a silent war is already happening, not with bombs, but with alliances, currencies, sanctions, and power. And at the center of it are two giants, NATO and BRICS. This is not a movie. This is the real global chessboard of today. On one side stands NATO, led by the United States, backed by Europe, Canada, and military allies spread across the Atlantic. Born during the Cold War, NATO's promise was simple. An attack on one is an attack on all. But today, NATO is no longer just defensive. From Ukraine to the Middle East, from military bases to economic pressure, NATO represents the Western-led global order. An order built on the US dollar, global institutions, and military dominance. On the other side rises BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and now expanded with new members. BRICS was not created to fight wars. It was created to challenge control. Control over money. Control over trade. Control over who decides the rules of the world. While NATO speaks the language of security, BRICS speaks the language of multipolar power, a world where no single country dominates. And this is where the real tension begins. The Ukraine war exposed the cracks. Sanctions were meant to crush Russia, but instead, they pushed Russia closer to China and the global south. Energy routes changed. Trade shifted east. The dollar started facing quiet resistance. BRICS countries began talking about local currency trade, reducing dependency on the US dollar. Not loudly, not dramatically, but strategically. For the West, this is dangerous. Because the dollar is not just money, it is power. Sanctions work only when the world obeys the system. And now, many countries are questioning that system. Africa, Latin America, the Middle East, Southeast Asia. They don't want to choose sides. They want options. This is why the world feels divided not into good and bad, but into interests. NATO fears losing influence. BRICS fears remaining controlled. And caught in between is the rest of the world. Countries like India walk a tightrope, cooperating with NATO economies while being central to BRICS. Buying weapons from Russia, trading with the US, manufacturing for the world, and speaking for the global south. This is not hypocrisy. This is survival. Because today's war is not about ideology. It's about who writes the future rules. Technology, artificial intelligence, energy, supply chains, digital currencies. The next global power won't just win wars, it will control standards. And here's the darkest truth. If NATO and BRICS collide directly, the world loses. So the battle is indirect proxy wars, economic pressure, information warfare, and silent deals. No flags raised, no declarations made, just slow pressure everywhere. This is not World War III, but it is World Order III. A world slowly moving from one center of power to many, and that transition is never peaceful. So when you hear headlines, remember this. It's not NATO versus BRICS. It's control versus change. And the world is watching, while the game is already being played. Welcome to D Block. It's not conspiracy, just reality.